for you guys that have been following along at home, you'll probably know why we're going to be getting in underneath this car and dealing probably with, hopefully, the last portion of the suspension. Now, I've been waiting for this kit to come in for a little while. This is a CAMBER suspension kit, which is a camber adjustment kit for a bushing system. So what this is going to do is replace this bolt that's up in here, bolting our lower control arm to the car. And what it's going to allow us to do is move that lower suspension in or out, whatever the requirements are going to be to get this wheel to track right. So this bracket here is going to need to be welded up in here. So this kit is a bit of a universal kit. It's not for this car, it's just something that they've put together to sell. So we will have to clearance a little bit of this off, and we're going to be welding that in there to be able to get our adjustments for camber. Because as you know, we've locked the top end of the suspension just due to not being able to get in there, and it's a real pain. So yeah, also what we've got is the caster rods, the adjustable caster rods. So they will replace this rod right here. These ones are not adjustable. They're just one nut on one side that just squishes down on some bushings there. And generally all your camber and caster adjustments are done up on the top portion of the A-arm. So this will allow us to get that caster movement out of the suspension with this adjustable rod. So the bushings are adjustable, and it will slide in and out of that mounting bracket there. So let's get into it. Let's start pulling it apart, and we'll get these brackets welded up in here. All right, let's make some noise. Now, like I mentioned on a previous episode, just remember, don't take that castle nut off all the way before you release the ball joint. There is a lot of tension on a lot of these suspension components, so it can be very dangerous with the amount of tension that is behind it. So always keep that on as a safety. It only goes to there. Anyway, I'll figure out how to get these arms out. We'll probably have to do both sides at the same time with the sway bar tension being on there. So I'll get all that pulled out, and I'll get you checked back in a minute. Might have been a few years ago when these were put on. There we go. Power of heat. You can see there quickly, since I've got it out now, as to the difference on those rods. So everything else is about the same, but yeah, it just allows us to have that adjustability to push it or pull it to get that movement out of that lower A-arm. Righto, we got that lower control arm out. It's just held on by that upper ball joint at the moment, so might still be in the way. We might have to just get this out of the way to get in there with an angle grinder, but if you can see that, we've got to try and get this in and welded in there. So there is a bit of a flange on this bracket to give it strength. So luckily we've only got to sort of cut this top portion and side portion out to get that in there. So yeah, let's just rip into that quickly, just pinch it out with an angle grinder and get that out of the way so we can get this welded in its position. think we've got enough clearance in there to get that in. I think that should be an issue where it is. So open up that hole, get the other side cut to do the same thing. Righto guys, got it all back together. It wasn't so bad of a job, a little bit fiddly. I would have preferred to have all the suspension components out of the car and done that, you know, when I had the chance, but I wasn't made aware of that kit until later on in the game when I told my steering suspension guy that I wanted to, you know, have a ride height that's a bit out of the norm, and you know, he suggested all this sort of stuff to put together. So yeah, we've got adjustable caster rods in there. I'm hoping we're going to have enough adjustment out of those too, but anything's better than nothing. I still think we're going to fall into an issue where we're just going to be chewing out tyres. It's not a normal thing to be running such a really tall ride height with the suspension. Obviously, where this wheel really should be is sort of up in this range, you know, where this will go up about 25-30 mil, but we're not running the wheel right up where it should be, so all the geometry's completely out. So hopefully we get enough out of it where it's not chewing out tyres aggressively. I don't mind if it's one of those things where on hard turns and things it is aggressive on the tyres, but as long as we can get down the road straight and it tracks right and all that sort of stuff. So I won't bore you with the other side. I'll just get the other side done, and then we'll move on to other things. Yeah, it's kind of cool, but pretty fucking never. Not like I need to
Keep my business suit on.
Finally got around to getting this tail shaft made. Went a bit overboard, got all chromoly yolks and things like that. So hopefully I gave him the right measurement and this fits in all right. So let's just see. Well, I got something right. Beauty. Finish bolting that up, and that's another thing done. I want that, that's the thing. Number 8. Should I leave that in the video? Number 8.
I'm taking it to strange new places.
Number 8. Number 8. Number 8. Number 8. Number 8.